Thank you, Acting Speaker. And the member for Yan Yean's correct. Words do matter. So when we hear words like we've invested X amount in this and we've invested X amount in that, I'll show you the roads. There are so many potholes, over 8 centimetres deep on roads that are less than 3 metres wide, and I bang on about this all the time. You can show, no, they are state roads, the Sunraysia Highway, the Calder Highway. I have got a list of things here, but let me get to the bill first, Acting Speaker, the Roads and Road Maintenance Bill, because there's nothing about road maintenance in this. It's about the digital driver's licence that was brought in earlier this year. So this bill, belatedly perhaps, will make it finally legal. That's convenient. And of course the no truck zones. And reading through the second reading speech and bill reports and different commentary on this bill and talking about taking trucks off the road, again, this is something I bang on about in this place all the time. Those roads that are very, very narrow with drop-offs that are very, very deep and potholes that are very, very deep, taking trucks off those roads, I would think, would be very important, not only maintaining the road so they're truck and car worthy, but taking those off to make sure, you know, a simple rail freight network that actually works would be nice. Little bit missing from that Murray Basin Rail project to actually help trains run efficiently. And when the member for Yan Yean talks about the survey that was done indicating that 91% of our roads are in poor or very poor condition, that was the government's own survey undertaken by the National Transport Research Organisation in 2023. So if that's not credible, if that's not worth listening to, then what is? Honestly, maybe, just maybe, it's some community commentary on the state of our roads and road maintenance. Now, I have an electorate of 37,500 square kilometres, Acting Speaker. It's almost 20% of the state. It's quite large. So I drive on a variety of different roads, national highways, state roads and council roads. Councils, particularly out in my region, are finding it very, very hard to maintain their own roads because of the axing of the Country Roads and Bridges program, for example, and the lack of investment that gets spoken about all of the time into local roads maintenance. Because, Acting Speaker, it's getting harder to maintain roads for councils because there doesn't seem to be much accountability. If a third-party contractor who's going out to do maintenance or fill a pothole says that square metre wide pothole will cost you $15,000 to fix, who's going, hang on a minute, that's too much? That shouldn't cost $15,000 to fix, or if someone's being quoted 20 grand, or whatever it might be, there doesn't seem to be anyone going, that doesn't sound right. Or there was $10 million promised a few years ago into the Robinvale Sea Lake Road. There's been 4 patches of that road that haven't been reconstructed. They've been resheeted. Now, if that's what $10 million gets you in road maintenance, we've got a real problem here. Who's looking into this kind of stuff? Who's holding these contractors to account and saying this is, and particularly when it gets over 30 degrees and a B-quad truck goes over it and takes the road with it, who's responsible for that? Spending $10 million of taxpayer money to not be any better off. That's insanity to me, and they keep doing it, but that's the very definition of insanity, isn't it? And when I talk about let's listen to the community with regard to our roads, words are important. This is some of the feedback that's come through my office about roads around the electorate of Mildura, which spans from Ned's Corner in near the New South Wales South Australian intersection down to Canoa Bridge in central Victoria. There's a lot of roads. Now, one of those that I got, and I got this week, and I did have to giggle to myself, but it's no laughing matter. This comes from David and Di Whitelaw. The road from Witchyproof heading towards St Arnaud is so bad you get airborne. So airborne, in fact, that our smartwatches said we were on elliptical trainers. Pretty bad when your Apple Watch goes off and says, are you on an elliptical trainer? Do you want to clock this workout? The 11th Street intersection at Riverside Avenue, the number of vehicles who disregard the stop signs and roll through this intersection also increasing, adding to the risk of pedestrians and road users. That one came from Russell Cox. The Calder Highway, between Bendigo and Mildura, a large pothole near Nullarbor with a beautiful painted silos, one of the OG painted silos. Lovely, you should go and have a look at it. They hit a pothole that absolutely scared me to the point I thought I had hit something as it was dark. And at the time, a truck was heading toward me. Now, this is what creates this incredible danger. I pulled over to check my left front wheel, etc., then realised it was a large pothole and took photos. Very dangerous situation when you're travelling at 110. That one's from Jamie Mullen. I hit that very same pothole leaving this place 2 weeks ago, Acting Speaker, and I thought the same thing. Because the visibility, particularly if you've got trucks, and it is a main thoroughfare for trucks between Mildura and Melbourne, if you've got a truck coming the opposite way and you can't use high beams or your driving lights, if you're lucky enough to have them, and you do need them out there, believe me, it's not just to put off other drivers. When you hit those potholes, it will really shake you up because you do think you've hit something. And I hit that same one the other day, and it does, mind you, I didn't stop to check because I just figured, well, knowing the state of the roads, obviously I hit a pothole. Now, Irimple Secondary College, the school has been asking for a green arrow at Corlong Avenue and have had 2 near misses. There's been a couple of students who have, in fact, been hit by cars at the lights at this intersection of 15th Street and Caradoc Avenue, and there's a wombat crossing between the school, the Oval and the Irimple Leisure Centre, but cars fly down this road. The school has been begging for some signage for years now. It's been approved. The department still yet to do anything, even though I've had a word to the Minister, we've written letters, etc. So we will keep waiting. There is another issue, Acting Speaker, that we have on our state highways and, in fact, our national highways. We see this with the increased number of caravans on our roads. Now, this piece of feedback came from Peter Roden, and it's very, very valid because I have to travel through outback New South Wales to get to work every day, Acting Speaker. I know, crazy, it's hard to get your head around, but I do. But on that Sturt Highway, there's no overtaking lanes, so it's literally a case of if you get tandem travelling caravans and you've also got road train, road train, road train, road train, trying to overtake caravans travelling at 80 kilometres an hour when the speed limit's 110, that leads to driver impatience, particularly, not to mention the 15 cars that are stuck behind as well. That leads to driver impatience, which leads to trying to overtake in dangerous situations. This is not okay, and the same thing is happening. Peter raised this with the overtaking or passing lanes along the 130-kilometre stretch of road between Melbourne South and Paringa. I know exactly where he's talking about. It's a very, very valid piece of feedback. But then we have the other side of the coin where the changed speed limit, this one comes from Nathan Doreen, the changed speed limit between Irimple and Redcliffs, with Vic Roads providing no notice or explanation before the move in 2022, from 100 to 80 kilometres an hour. Now, there would be arguments for and against this, but Nathan says, I can only guess that it was Vic Roads' attempt to make the notorious intersection of Bella Avenue and the Calder Highway safer. Because, of course, these intersections that get forgotten about, I can only assume, and the 16th and Deakin is another example of this. People get impatient. There's no traffic lights. There's no safe way to cross major highways. Dropping the speed limit isn't the way to go about it. The same thing happens in Midiak. I know you know where Midiak is, Acting Speaker. Middle of nowhere. But I went out there and had one of the best morning teas I've ever had because there were some concerned constituents out there that were concerned about the rail crossing signs that are on that part of the Calder Highway. There's no rail crossing there. Hasn't been a rail crossing there for years and years. In fact, it's been completely tarred over. There's a dirt road. The speed limit drops to 80 with these rail crossing signs. So I get phone calls from tourists often saying, why on earth is the speed limit dropped to 80? Doesn't make any sense. Look, all we're asking for when it comes to roads and road maintenance is our fair share. The floods were a long time ago. We haven't had any rain. I don't know if you've noticed, but broadacre farmers are hurting at the moment because there's been no winter rain, so do not use that as an excuse for why the roads haven't been fixed. It's invalid. There has been no rain. There's a green drought, whatever that means, down in the south. Rain is not an excuse. The floodwaters have been gone for years. If we're going to talk about investment, actually do something about it.